Hello, good morning. Welcome to the day four of this NAU Fest. I'm very happy to be with you to share a new experience, a new day, new challenges, new contexts, more interaction, and especially this very important day where we will have some issues concerning programming and technology. This is STEAM's Day. My name is Ileana Jimenez, and I would like to say hello to all the countries that we have here. Remember, we've been doing this through spatial chat, so I know that we have new people who are joining us on the day four, and they have to integrate, they have to get to know new teammates, new classmates, and new attendees. And we're going to have great surprises, and we're going to have great speakers today. So we're gonna start. I want to read you in the chat, in Spatial Chat and in YouTube. I want to read your name, and you can add an emoji or a flag, and tell me how you feel today. And I would like to know two more things. If you have already been here with us all 4 days, or if today is your first day. And without any doubt, we will have a lot of information, and we're going to talk a lot more about what is our new image and the importance of JA Americas. And as I've been telling you, I've had the opportunity for the last 2 years to see how all of these young people grow in the Americas, from Canada to Argentina, and in the Caribbean islands, of course. And each of them with their own interests. They have teamed up with all teammates. We have had many countries that have gotten together. So when we want all entrepreneurs to get together and work together in the mid and long term. We've had many interesting speakers that were, when they were young, they were JA students. They were junior achievement students like you are, and that now they have created their own companies, their own businesses. So here, no questions are out of place. You can ask all the questions that you want. It's extremely important that you don't keep quiet. You need to ask, and you need to share everything that you learn. The cultural exchange, if you have new friends, the songs, and if you have new ideas, new projects that come up these days. I would love for you to share that through social networking. Your voice is extremely important. And remember that you can impact a lot of young people, a lot of youths from 16 to 30 years old, maybe even older people, way older. But your voice is extremely important, and we want you to share and to expand. And one way to do this, the one really fun way to do this, is through social networking. You can tag us at JA Americas, and you can use the NAU Fest hashtag. And you can find me in social networking, of course, at Ili Jimenez. And if before continuing and starting with all of our activities that we're going to have today, well, for those people who are joining us for the first time in the Now Fest, if you want to know more about what junior achievement is, well, here is all the information so that you know exactly where are you standing, and that you are uh, doing some massive change in your personal and professional life. Junior Achievement is one of the largest organizations in the world, which is dedicated to inspiring and preparing young people to be successful in a global economy through training, financial literacy, education, and Junior Achievement activates young people for the employment of the future. J Americas is present in 25 countries in our region, and they benefit more than 1 million young people every year. So today you're making history. Yeah. And JA is one of the six largest organizations in the world. And according to NGO Advisor, they have been nominated. And here's the drum roll here, because I love giving this important news, because they have been nominated for the first time in history to the Peace Nobel Prize. Congratulations, JA. And you are part of that too. and it's really I'm really proud of being here with this development of new entrepreneurs throughout the Americas. And is if this is not little, but this is more. There's more. We have been renewing our visual identity, our image, and we're going to see the following video and know more about what is J Americas based on the new image. Get inspired and connected through the platform of Spatial Chat. This is an event to design your future. 8 days, 5 workshops, regional ambassadors, Mohammed Yunus, Dava Mandela, and Marin Law. They're international speakers. We also have Reza Bratiglieri and Woz. We have 50,000 educational experience, a disruptive platform, 25 countries. Are you ready? Join now. June 10 to 21, 2022. I love being able to enjoy all of these, the mixing of new technologies and everything that JA America is presenting. But I want to know what you guys think, because I want you to write in the chat, write to me, send me a message, and we want to get to know you. And remember that every question and all questions are extremely important. This is a space so that you can ask, you can share, you can explore, you can get meet new friends. So use this chat and please tell us what do you think about the new JA America's image. And I want to thank also all of our sponsors, and because they're also watching us and they're also together with us. Thank you for fostering the goals, the dreams of so many young people in 25 countries. Thank you to all of our sponsors in at NAU Fest. We come to NAU Fest to integrate, to learn, to get together, to have fun. So before we start with the activities, we're going to do the first activity of the day. So it's going to be through the chat, remember, and I want you guys in your own words to tell me what does STEAM mean for you to you. The technology and programming, so and all of the tools so that you can tell me what is it for you. What does STEAM Day mean for you? What does it mean for you? I want to read you guys in the chat. I'm going to be give you a chance, and remember that throughout the day, as we've mentioned in previous days, are going to be we have been sharing some music that you guys have proposed, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of JA Americas because they always want to have the best programs, the best workshops, and your opinions always matter. Your feedback always matters. So all managers and the CEO, the president of J Americas joined with several youths from Latin America to learn what they wanted to know in different programs and different workshops. And many of them said that they love sharing the parts of the country that represent them, be it the music, be in places that you need to visit, whether it is in Argentina, Peru, Canada, Mexico. So we want you guys to keep motivating yourselves, keep getting together, and keep sharing everything that you told us that you wanted to do. So feel free to do this, and we're going to have several moments so that you can do it freely moving forward. Now, the question is, what does STEAM mean to you? What are you expecting to learn on today? I'm going to be watching the chat, and I want you to learn all of this in social networking. And remember that your voice is extremely important, and use the hashtag NAU Fest, and you can add JA Americas. And now we will ask our guest, Johnson& and Johnson, to tell us how do they see the STEAM world, their gender inclusion in the industry, and that's why we asked Fernandez, who is works in engagement for the company, so that they can tell us a little bit about this topic and everything that gets Johnson& and Johnson together in this STEAM topic. And of course, she- uh, Alex is going to introduce our first speaker. Alex, great to meet you. Hello. Hello, Iliana. I'm very happy to see you and to say hello to you and all of the youths that we have connected today in this STEM day. My name is Alex Fernandez. I work for Johnson& Johnson for 8 years, and I would like to say hello to everyone from Costa Rica, and I'm working the social responsibility area, the CSR area, and I'm in charge of a program that is related to women in science. So for us, it's great to be able to be here and to be part of this event because we're going to have amazing activities related to science that you, as young people, you have the opportunity of taking advantage of those areas in science to develop a professional career, to create a business, or to develop those amazing ideas that we know that you guys have. I want to introduce you today to our speaker that we're going to have today, our guest speaker from Johnson& Johnson, who's going to talk to you about science. Her name is Isa Rodriguez. She's in Mexico. Isa has over 20 years working in Johnson& Johnson in the area of production, in the area of business, in the quality assurance area, and she's one of the most recognized leaders that we have. And she has studies in science, in industrial engineering, and she has several degrees in the area of quality. She's passionate for science. She has found purpose in science, not just in what she does every day in Johnson& Johnson, but also in leading, in taking the knowledge and the opportunity and the passion to other young people about science, to lead you to understand more, to know more about science, about technology, about math, about design, art, and and manufacturing. I'm going to give the floor to Isa, and I want to tell you that for us this is a great opportunity of connecting you, the youths in the region, with the science-ish topics. So I want to tell you thank you, and give the floor to Isa. Thank you, Alex, for this great introduction, and Iliana for giving me the opportunity of talking today. I want to say hello to everyone. I'm impressed for being able to be here at the distance. And I would like to ask you to keep using the chat for you to tell us your names, where are you from which country, from which city, and We're going to ask everyone who has joined to tell us a little bit about, to have the perspective, the outlook of all the countries that are connected here today. I'll start. My name is Cesar Rodriguez. I'm from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. And what I've learned from the appreciation theory from my good friend Laura is that I need to find something good in everything. And in COVID, we found this possibility of being connected from a distance, and that the walls of our house don't limit us, but give us the possibility of connecting to the whole world and to be here remotely. So I'd like to send you all a hug to everyone who is connected. Today we are here in our beginning of the week, and we're going to talk about diverging thoughts and about the STEM courses of studies. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math, of course, or manufacturing, maybe. I mean, where I'm working here in Johnson and Johnson, we work with manufacturing, so we want to change the M to that area. So before starting, and I hope that you still keep on writing where you're writing from, but I want to ask you another question. Those who are fans of Formula One are going to answer really quickly, immediately. So I want to ask you, how long does a pit stop take in Formula One, in F1? Ileana, as Ileana said, all answers are valid. Probably you're going to maybe want to ask what is Formula One, but could be minutes, seconds. What do you think? Can you answer? Can you? We're going to see a video so that we see the answer. You see 2 to 3 seconds. This is what we see in the Formula One. They just ran in. Just raced in Baku. So I'm really when I saw this before that we what's the relationship, you might think, what's the relationship between the F1 pit stop and what we're going to talk today? But those 2 to 3 seconds is a time where you're trying to make a decision based on your course plan that you're looking at, a decision to decide to see what's going to happen 5 years from now in your lives, just by looking at the list of names and the subjects. So I want to give you the advice of not making any decision based on what you are seeing right now, but rather this is the conclusion of that's not going to be the conclusion of what's going to happen. You need to make your decision based on the tools and the skills that you're going to get through that process and along the road, and know about the you need to know your skills and the confidence that you have on your skills, and what makes you passionate today. How do you transform this knowledge, and how do you master that knowledge? How do you create the skill, the ability of adapting, developing, using your creativity in these subjects? COVID has given us a massive push forward and a massive lesson in resilience, but not just resilience, but also we have had to learn to adapt to diverging thoughts, thinking outside the box. I'm going to make a little definition of diverging of lateral thinking, which allows us to solve a problem through creative, different, and non-conventional answers. The lateral thinking through the STEM courses of studies are what companies need right now to be able to reinvent themselves, to be able to anticipate the issues that were not planned, maybe. And even though we are no longer using masks and everything is more open, COVID effects are still here. So we can see changes in demand. We have delays in components. gas prices go up, and what do we do? It's not actually the study itself, but rather the skills that we are developing, what we want. And some of the examples that I want to give you right now to um, round up this thought, this divergent thoughts, if you want to put this in the screen, is, for example, one example would be to use a chips container to keep the spaghetti, a dispenser, or a Kleenex, how to prevent the door from closing by using just a little rubber band, or how to create a funnel with a bottle, or how to contain humidity in for example, in a pot. And those are really daily solutions, daily things that capture the concept of what's going to help us move forward, not through this career, but rather through the tools that we are getting. Because courses of studies evolve, like we see with everything, with the evolution of junior achievement, how they reinvented themselves, starting from the first computer, then the clothes. We all did aerobics and all of that. And maybe the older people would identify themselves with this, and maybe in 5 years what's now popular, maybe it's not going to be in 5 years. So, and even though that study, that course of studies is popular at that point, maybe throughout time you're going to have to adapt to the conditions of the market. Right now, learning about the changes in demand, maximizing transportation and points of sales, it's very necessary to keep existing. And how do we get to that? The different different courses of studies focus on data analysis or machine learning, and that's gaining traction and gaining popularity. But we need to always think of how are we going to transform, how are we going to change things. That's what we really need. If we go, if we look at companies that reinvented themselves to keep working, some of the examples that we have that want to give you as a homework to learn what did they do, how did they transform. And is if we see in the screen, if you can see them in the screen, is one of them is Adobe, or the Adobe Acrobat, for many people who maybe didn't know that, the ability of digitizing documents. But now they also uh, one of the areas where they have become more known was because of data analysis services or marketing and information digitalization. Microsoft, it's another company that used to work only on licensing and selling licenses for software, for Office, PowerPoint, Word, everything. And now their core competency is digital clouds to manage information. And now Netflix, from selling DVDs, now they are digital video, as well as content production. So with their traditional N-shaped start, which is a property of Netflix. So they moved to from selling DVDs to creating content. Nokia, when the iPhone came in, they broke the concept of what Nokia was offering. They were not even close to competing. They reinvented, and now they are suppliers of networks and fiber optics. So they were smart and they say, okay, iPhone, you're the leader, but you need a digital network. So that's what I'm going to do. The ability of transforming. And also a Nintendo, I'm a user, I don't get royalties. But when Xbox and PlayStation arrived with a digital image and a completely groundbreaking concept, Nintendo came back and said, okay, I'm going to become portable. You're at home, I'm portable. So, and other options for younger children. But the message that I want to give you right now is that these are examples, both in the everyday life and in the companies, is that whichever course of studies that you choose needs to be sustained by that passion of what you like to do. Where's your skill? Where's your creativity? And you can start thinking about this so that you can see and you can give the best of you to what gives you, to what brings you passion.
Hoy en día las empresas como
And companies
Johnson
like
Johnson
Johnson and
o
Johnson, where I
Fresenius
have the honor of participating for over for many years,
simplemente caminar,
they are
pero
looking for strategies to diversify internally,
internamente lo que es diversidad,
so that
equidad e
these
inclusión,
changes
para
that
ver
I
esos cambios que
mentioned,
se
changes
vienen
that are
cocinando, cambios
outside of
importantes
our
que
reach
puedan
or outside of our vision,
poner o fuera de nuestra visión, un COVID, una
of
pandemia, un
like
desastre,
cases of a natural
natural.
disaster, how can we
Entonces podemos
anticipate changes in
anticipar
fashion,
cambios en la moda,
changes in
cambios en la manera de la
the
distribución, como ahora
distribution
con el alto
of
costo del
products, like the high prices of oil right now,
petróleo, la gasolina,
and
etcétera.
they are reinventing the
Tenemos
way
que
of doing
comenzar
business and redistributing
como
and to become profitable.
exponenciales,
At
porque
the end of the
todo
day,
tiene
we are a company and we need to have
tiene que
profits.
haber ganancias.
When I
Entonces
talk
nuestra
about a
empresa
company, I'm not talking just about
cada
Johnson&
vez
and Johnson, it's in general.
la
But the
estrategia
strategy of
entonces
Johnson& Johnson is to
implementamos
invest in this
estas
STEM
carreras STEM, en
courses of
esta
studies
diversificación interna.
and a
Los
few other
grupos,
concepts that I'm going to
hablar un
talk about
poco
now.
a qué me
When we think
refiero.
about internal
Esta
diversity,
diversidad interna,
as a
nosotros como
medical
empresa
company, we can
médica podemos
understand
entender la
the
volatilidad
reactivity of the
en el
market
mercado,
because we have a representation of
todo,
the entire
el
spectrum.
espectro, ¿verdad? Del ser
So we
humano,
can
de
see
cómo
how do they
piensa,
react, what do they
cómo,
do, and it's there's a
¿verdad?
great investment in not adapting to the
No nada
company,
más
but
porque
rather
la
we
compañía
need
lo
you just the
necesita,
way you are for you to come here and to help us and to be
reimaginar,
constantly
estar
innovating.
constantemente innovando.
However, one of the areas where
Sin
we
embargo,
have
una de las áreas en
uh,
donde hemos
placed a
puesto
special emphasis are women in
las
STEM
mujeres en nuestro
careers, because this is an
porque
area where we
precisamente
have
tenemos
very
una
low
poca
representation,
representación, porque
because few
estamos
candidates go into the college
demasiado
and few candidates come out,
sobre esos que salen
and we
porque
need to
quieren
compete
competir por liderazgo
to
de la
be the
empresa,
company of choice of that talent of that person.
esa persona.
So
Entonces, pues es muy poco lo que
we
tenemos
don't have much representation within the company. So this is where we additionally have these programs
los
in
programas
combination with junior
en
achievement, where
desarrollo de
we
mujeres,
are
en donde estamos
constantly
constantemente
attracting female talent and trying to explain
femenino,
what
tratando
would
de
be a
integrar
STEM
tecnología a una carrera
course of
STEM, cómo
studies
les
and what
podría
does it mean
adaptar. ¿Qué significa
if
ese
I
futuro
study chemical science, what does it mean
feminista?
if I work
¿Qué
at
significa
Johnson
si trabajo en Johnson? ¿Qué
or at
significa
any
si
other company?
trabajo en alguna otra
I'm just
empresa?
going to talk about Johnson in specific.
¿Pero qué significaría,
If
verdad? Hay
you
muchas
have an infinite diversity of options
en las que pudieran aplicar las carreras,
through
entonces
these courses and these diplomas,
aseguramos de que
we
las
make
mujeres
sure that girls can play not just to find their calling,
pero que
but
encuentren, ¿no?
actually how would they adapt it.
Volvemos a lo mismo, no
But
tengo
don't
como
focus on your career, focus on your passion and what you can
ustedes
change your
cambiar
strategy with your
radicalmente las
inner
cosas
engine.
con el motor interno que tenemos.
So
Entonces,
this is the reason why we have this special emphasis on women in STEM careers.
STEM,
But
pero
additionally, we have
adicionalmente
this vision
trabajamos
of
donde
diversity and inclusion
la inclusión para tener
to
diversificarnos, crear las
create
estrategias
strategies from inside to the outside and not reacting when it's already too late.
cuando ya es tarde, cuando ya estamos
When the
con
competition are right next to us or they have gone ahead of us. So that's why we need to
número uno,
work with this constantly.
constantemente, ¿verdad? Entonces, la única manera de llegar a hacerlo es este enfoque
This is a way. This is a reason why this investment is worth it,
vale la pena y el retorno
and
obviamente
I cannot even quantify this.
no puedo ni cuantificarlo.
I would also like to mention that the opportunities of development within Johnson& and Johnson are infinite, not just about the benefits that we have, just not just in
De la maternidad,
maternity. If somebody would like to go through that goal in life,
objetivo en la vida,
opportunities of work-life balance, which we all need
todos lo necesitamos,
in
nuestra
our mind, in our
mente,
mental health, and not just the work,
mental y no el
but
estrés del
the
trabajo,
also the opportunities of mentorship
yo
not only
realmente
means attracting talent, but once the talent is with us, how do we ensure
aseguramos,
that
¿verdad?
this is still being developed
Y que se siga
and
desarrollando.
implementing? So I
Entonces,
want to go back a little bit to Formula One
Fórmula
because I
Uno,
find this fascinating how the strategy,
como la estrategia,
if you're not familiar with Formula One in
vamos a uno
Netflix, We have the to Survive show, which explains to us a little bit about the racing. And I find this fascinating because first we have the relationship with the pilot and the car.
no lo es todo, realmente es una
We have a
combinación de
combination of the capacity and the
habilidades
power of the car, but also we have the pilot. So
tu carrera es
it's
clave
most more or less the same. You need to have a great car,
y
but you
administrarla
need to be able to handle it to adapt to the different circuits, to the different races,
carreras,
the different soil conditions, and everything.
etcétera, pero si eso no lo llevamos
And
a la vida normal, pues
those
se
would be the
sería un cambio
changes of situations that we are anticipating,
emociones que nos estemos anticipando,
changes in
cambios de
fashion,
planes, cambios de moda,
in
cambios
strategy in general, etc.
de
How
estrategias
can
de
you adapt?
cómo te puedes adaptar. Entonces, ten en mente
We
que
need to know that the car and the race is not everything, but the pilot also is important.
tiene que ser un balance adecuado.
And the second aspect in this week is
Esta
that
semana me cayó de perlas
I
que
saw
era
this race that I asked my husband to put it on the
la
screen. Is
pandemia,
your network. Your network, the support network is also as important to have a great supporting network.
al inicio, hacer
And
así que se
of
conocieran,
course, I'm happy that you had Iliana mention it through
una
that
vez que
network that is the pit stop.
que va a llegar y una vez que
Once we
ustedes
had the tires and we do the adjustments,
ajustes,
and we need to do a change of strategy of direction for a new
estrategia,
tool,
conocer una
you have
herramienta
that pit
nueva,
stop
tienes ese pit stop que te va a ayudar a
that's
salir de
going to help you in 2 seconds to get back to competition.
la competencia.
That network
Esta red
invests today in
con tus
with colleagues,
consejeros,
with
no
teachers,
quiten valor
and
porque
with the advice that a
un
colleague
compañero,
could
muchas veces
give.
tenemos
So
competencia y lo queremos
we
preguntar
want to ask a friend
al
because
amigo
what
enseguida porque híjole, ¿qué va a pensar?
sometimes
Va a
we
decir
don't
que no
know
sé,
if
tiene igual de valor
maybe you don't
tomar
think
los
it's going to have value, but it's
acercamientos
going
con
to have a lot
muchos
of value for
pacientes
you
a nivel de
because
casa,
it's at your
no
same level.
amigos, pero obviamente
So that when you are moving forward, you don't lose what you have already gained,
sigan como
but rather to
avanzando,
move forward. So that
entonces
network in that pit stop, you're
y
going
en
to see
parte
that in Formula One they took it down to 2 seconds.
un, en un
So this
cronómetro
is a process
entender qué era lo
to
que
see when was
necesitaba,
the best time to do things and do some simultaneous work. So
un trabajo que
it's
a
some
lo
work that
largo
you're going to keep on learning through that time.
juntos, ¿verdad?
So we
Yo
need to
vengo
turbocharge this
un proyecto de
change
mujeres
of women,
especialmente en Johnson
especially in
Johnson,
Johnson and Johnson, and we are all reinventing.
todos
And it's
reinventando, todos
time
nos
to
estamos, es
rethink
momento
of our
de
goal,
repensar el objetivo. Entonces,
and we're waiting
nosotros
for you.
estamos
I hope that
esperando,
we
ojalá y
see many
veamos muchos
applications, many
solicitudes,
LinkedIn connections that are exploring
explorando
JJ Career and jnj.com so that you can get to know more about everything that we offer and how can we benefit mutually of these STEM careers. So in
entonces,
conclusion, I would like to give you
quisiera
3 important points.
tres puntos importantes.
Messages based on what I think I want to recommend. I'm not an expert,
No, pero sí soy una
but I
apasionada
am passionate in women development
pero en general
and
de todo lo
about
que
doing some follow up in this STEM careers. One of that
uno,
is that
el
the
miedo
fear of the future cannot define you. Fear is valid, but it cannot define your trajectory.
potencial son las
You decide
llaves
which is the car that's going to take you
que va a ayudar
and drive you to the finish line. You are the pilot, but you need to
un
build
carro
a
completo.
powerful and versatile car.
Número
Two, invest your
invierte
time in your networks. That's what's going to
algo que te
help you
ayudará
get to the finish
al
line.
final de la meta.
And if along the line, the way you need a readjustment or somebody to look at you with different eyes, you have a pit stop that can
Te
help you do
ayuda
those changes.
a hacer esos cambios.
And finally, that you should consider that
Realmente
practice
considero
makes
que
perfect.
la práctica hace el
Practice makes
progreso,
progress, and progress makes perfect. Sorry.
entonces, si en algo no eres
If you
bueno,
don't feel like you're moving forward on something, just practice, practice, and practice.
práctica, práctica, práctica.
There is no better way to get into your goal than practice and practice and practice. Practice becomes progress, and progress leads to perfection. Our guru,
Nuestro
Albert Einstein, had a phrase that said,
una
once you
frase
stop learning,
es que
you
dejas
start dying.
que empiezas a morir.
This is not a race of who knows more about something.
¿Quién sabe más? No es
It's
una
not a
carrera de
race of
quién llega
who gets there first, but actually who knows more.
a saber más, hay que continuar aprendiendo.
I want to
Entonces,
wish you a lot of good luck to know more about Johnson and Johnson, about the programs,
quieren hacer hasta
and
programas
to
de
participate, to ask you to participate with us in internship and COAS, COAs,
crear
and
programas
many other programs that we have throughout our page.
con mucho éxito
And I
en
wish
estos
you good
días.
luck in the activities that are going to continue today. Back to you, Alex. Thank you, Isa, and thank you for your presentation. And I want to tell people, like Isa said, try to create a network. Don't be afraid of knocking on a door and look at the person you admire and tell them, I want to learn this. Can you help me? And you will be surprised with the help of those people because they are really willing to train other people. If in my case, because I'm almost 45 years old, I recently looked up a leader in Johnson and Johnson, and I told her I want to improve in this, and I want somebody to guide me, to teach me, and that person was happy of being able to help me. So let's not fear to knock the door on the door of people, to find leaders, to ask the people who can help us, and to ask them how can we improve in which areas. And as Isa said, we should take advantage of those platforms like LinkedIn, which is a great platform where I imagine some of you have your profiles. Some of them will start creating them to connect people who are willing to help. So keep on with your idea of trying to create a network, to explore, to try new things. And something that Isa said, which was very important, is to have a learner's mentality. You always need to try to learn, and we are never a finished product. So we need to learn until the last day that we are on Earth. We need to. That's going to take us to different places in our professional and personal lives. Now I would like to move forward to the next activity. We have a great workshop. We have volunteers at Johnson and Johnson, who are led by Cecilia Lebeiki, who is in Argentina. She's going to do an activity with everyone who is connected right now. You can't miss this. This is going to be really interesting, really interactive, and you're going to learn a lot about science and how important science is right now. And you can share your vision of where you want to lead your professional career. So let's move on to the next activity.